quite a lot of ingredients. I'm going to introduce all of them to you, and at the same time, I will put them into the hot pot right in front of me. So I will share with you how they taste. Okay, so firstly, I will teach you how to make a hot pot. That's super simple. All you need is the hot pot soup base. So this one is the classic Chongqing hot pot soup base. In China, I would say Chongqing. Travel to Chongqing, hot pot is a must-have kind of food. So this one is extra hot level, and we have different types of hot pot soup base. And when you make the hot pot soup, you just need to put some base into the pot, and then you add some water. Yeah, that's it. Super simple. Actually, for this pot, it's not very big. You can see it's like this big. We only put maybe a quarter of the soup base, and then we add some. We just add some water. That's it. Okay, so when the weather starts to cool down, I think there's nothing better than family to gathering together for a hot pot. You can have hot pot with your friends, with your family. You can share laughter and enjoy the steaming pot of delicious hot pots. So whether you run a hot pot restaurant in the US, you manage a self-serve mini hot pot, or if you just simply love cooking hot pot at home, I'm sure tonight's live will definitely inspire you. Okay, so let's get started with the ingredients. You can see today we have 3 types of ingredients. We have the frozen tofu, we have the fried tofu puffs, and we also have the kelp nuts. Okay, so let's take a look at their package. You can see this is the frozen tofu. Many restaurant chefs call this the tofu that breathes. Why is that? If you take a look at it, you can see it's made from tofu that's naturally frozen. So it creates countless holes in the tofu. You can see there are a lot of tiny holes so that they can breathe. That's why it's called the tofu that can breathe. And these holes also give a superpower that makes it able to absorb the broth when we put it in the hot pot. And before thawing, you can see it looks golden yellow. So that's the color and the feel form. After thawing, you will see a gentle squeeze release water, and it turns soft and bouncy. So you can see it's like this. I'm gonna show you. After thawing, it looks like this. And cute. So the structure allows it to soak up all the broth soup. You see, because it's soft. Every bite, so that when you put it in the hot pot, every bite tastes like drinking the soup. And that's why it's a must-have hot pot ingredient. Hello. Hi, hello new friends. So have you ever had hot pot before? And today I'm so happy to be here to have the hot pot with you. So for restaurants, these frozen tofu is a dream ingredient because they're ready to use, they're consistent in quality, and they're great at soaking up flavor and cost effective. It pairs beautifully with almost any different types of hot pot, like the spicy one, tomato or mushroom broths. In fact, many US hot pot chains already include it in their standard menu. So I would say the frozen tofu is a star on a lot of hot pot menus. And also here in China, we have a chain hot pot restaurant called Haidilao. So every time when I go to that hot pot restaurant, I must have the frozen tofu. Okay, so you can see we already have the frozen tofu in the hot pot right in front of me, and I'm gonna try them. This is the frozen tofu. You can see now, because of the holes that it has so many soup. Let me taste it. It's soft, it's juicy, and it's full of the broth flavor. Wow, I feel so warm after having this frozen tofu. So I would say very nice, and I recommend the frozen tofu to all of the restaurant owners who are watching this live right now. Okay, so the next ingredient, the next item is our fried tofu puffs. You can see they are a little bit bigger than the frozen tofu, and the package looks like this. Oh, they're heavy. Although we have a very huge bag of tofu puffs, but they're not heavy at all. You can see they're light. So in frozen condition, they look like this. You must be careful that they need to be frozen. They need to be frozen at minus 18 degrees Celsius when you store them. So actually it's simple. You just keep them frozen, and when you want to use it, you use it. And for this huge bag, it's around 1 kilograms. That's 2.2 pounds for this big bag. Okay, so this is the package, and you will see after frozen, after thawing, they look like this right in front of me. So for me, I feel the frozen tofu puffs is like the soul of hot pot. I heard a saying that a hot pot without fried tofu puffs is like barbecue without cumin. So it just feels incomplete. You can see at first glance they look very simple, but they are the real flavor traps in the hot pot. Jacknkings tofu puffs are made from non-GMO soybeans. That means they are not genetically modified organism, and they are flash fried at high temperature. So you can see these are the fried tofu puffs. The outside is golden and flexible, and the inside is airy and hollow. So you can see actually. I washed my hands before. Okay, so they look clean, dry, and one thing I like them the best is that they're never greasy. So after thawing, they stay light and soft. You can literally feel the air inside, right? When I use my chopsticks to squeeze, you can literally feel that they have air inside. So that you can imagine after we put them in the hot pot, they must soak up a lot of soup. Okay, so now let's see the fried tofu puffs in the hot pot. Okay, they are also ready. You can see in the pot they float gently on the surface. All the tofu puffs float. They slowly absorb the broth's aroma and soak up just the right amount of soup. Let's give it a try. It's a little bit hot because I just took it out of the hot pot. It just soaked up right enough amount of soup from the broth, so that makes it exactly the same flavor as the hot pot. Because I like the spicy flavor, so for me it tastes just so good. If you like the tomato hot pot soup, this one is also a very good choice. They're so soft and they're so juicy. So for restaurants, they're just so practical. They hold up well. You can see they don't collapse easily, and they soak up just the right amount of soup. So each bite bursts with juice. And they blend tofu fragrance with broth richness. So it's absolutely satisfying. Okay, so another must-have hot pot item. They pair for the tofu puffs. They pair perfectly with almost anything that you can think of for a hot pot. For example, beef slices, shrimp paste, meatballs. So yeah, as I said, they basically pair with almost anything in your hot pot. So I already introduced our 2-star products of the hot pot, and then it comes the third ingredient. Okay, and the next one is the kelp nuts. You can see they are the green warriors of hot pot. They're firm, they're springy, and they are refreshingly oceanic. So they look so cute. I like the nuts especially. For me, they look more than vegetable. They're more like a piece of art because of the knot. I know for even some jewelry, they have the design of knots, and for our kelp, we have knots as well. So we bring the art to your table. These kelp knots are made from tender sea kelp, so they're cleaned, sliced, and tied into knots, and they're flash frozen to lock in freshness. You can see they're super fresh, right? They have a deep green color and a natural sea aroma, and each piece of kelp knot just looks perfect. So once thawed, they turn glossy and flexible. You can see all of them are flexible and glossy. If you drop them in the pot, they just swirl gracefully, they turn brighter, and they taste even better. So let's see, in the hot pot, you can see the knot, they don't break down. There's still a knot. That's what I like about it. There's still a knot. And tell you a secret, the longer you cook them, the tastier they become. So you can see every knot stays what they were like. They didn't break down. every single nut stays exactly the same as when I put it down the hot pot. So for US hot pot restaurants, kelp nuts are a healthy, low-fat, high-fiber vegetable option. They're easy to store, portion, and serve. They look great in buffet-style setups or individual hot pots, and they add both color and nutrition. So you can see the whole pot with the kelp, it just looks more beautiful because it adds another color to it. Okay, so now let me give it a try. Let's see how it tastes like. They're crisp. Can you hear that? They're refreshing and they're delicately oceanic. Wow, I like this. It just brings a sea aroma. Can you feel the crispy sound? Now I'm eating the nut. I don't know if it's my personal feeling or what, but I feel like when it's in the shape of a nut, it just tastes better than the regular kelp. Maybe you can give it a try and see if you have the same feeling as me. Let me finish up this. Even though this kelp was stored frozen, but you can still see that it's still very fresh, and you can see the texture. You can see it looks like it's fresh. Okay, it's good too. So Shiqi says yes for all the 3 items. Now let's take a look at the whole pot. So today, I've been introducing the 3 must-have hot pot items, and they're right here just in front of me in the hot pot. So first, we have the frozen tofu, and it's not like the regular tofu because it's frozen, so it has, after thawing, it has so many holes. You can see that makes it able to soak up a lot of soup, so that it's very nice for a hot pot because it can bring you the flavor of the hot pot itself. And then we introduced this, the fried tofu puff. Look, they're so cute because they literally puffed up, and they're so soft. This is made from the NGO tofu. Okay, and then finally the third one is our kelp nuts. So each one, you can see each one has their own characteristic, and together they just create a balance of the textures and flavors. So they not only taste good but look good too. I'm sure when you look at that at first glance, your mouth starts watering and you want to taste them right away. Am I correct? Okay, so this is what real hot pot happiness tastes like. Jacknkings Hot Pot series is made to international standards, from ingredients section to quick freezing freshness. So they help restaurants save time, ensure consistent quality, and deliver authentic flavors to your place every single time. So for home cooks, all you need is a small pot, just like this. It's super simple, and after you get the soup base and the ingredients, it's so simple to make. You just need to prepare a pot of water, and then you add the soup base in, and when they are boiled, you just need to put all the ingredients down. That's it. So simple, right? Hello, hi. Hello, ITZ Wolf Gamer 707. Hello, have you ever tried Hotpot before? So today we invite Hotpot restaurants and food brands across the US to partner with Jacknkings, so more people can experience the authentic taste of Chinese hotpot. Hello, hello new friends. So tonight we're celebrating the first hot pot of autumn. So when the weather starts to cool down, it's nothing better to gather together with your family or friends and enjoy a hot pot. So personally, that's my favorite thing in autumn and in winter. So today I'm here to share this experience with you. Whether you're running a hot pot restaurant in the US, or you manage a self-serve hot pot restaurant, or simply if you love cooking hot pot at home, I'm sure today's live will inspire you. So Jacknkings has brought you 3 must-have hot pot essentials. They are frozen tofu. Oh, I like the cube shape. And the fried tofu puffs and the kelp nuts. So today I'm introducing the 3 essentials to you, and you can see right in front of me I have a hot pot, and I've already put the 3 ingredients in the pot so that I can tell you how they actually taste like. Actually, they are not only Chinese hot pot classics, they've also become favorites among major hot pot brands and home cooks across US. So I know that in China, if you go to a hot pot restaurant, I'm sure these must be on their menu. And recently, they are also become a favorite thing among the US hot pot restaurants. So let's cook and talk at the same time. This is the frozen tofu. Many chefs call this the tofu that breathes. Why is that? Does anybody know? Hello, Liu Chengzhen. Hi, welcome. Welcome to my channel, and welcome to Jacknkings YouTube Food Live. So today I'm having the hot pot, and I'm sharing the hot pot ingredients and the taste with you. Okay, so this is the frozen tofu, and you can see the holes. There are many holes in the tofu, so that the holes gives it a superpower, so that the frozen tofu can soak up soup when we put them in the hot pot. And the structure just allows it to soak up all the broth flavors, so that every bite tastes like you're drinking the soup directly. Let's give it a try. Let's taste. Okay, oh, you can see the color has changed, right? After thawing, this is golden color, just like the soybeans. But after we put it in the hot pot for a long time, it soaked up a lot of the broth, so that the color starts to change. Hello, Yu Chan Kim. Hi. Have you ever tried hot pot before? If yes, what's your favorite flavor? And this is the frozen tofu. I just put it in the spicy hot pot for a long time, like 30 minutes, more than 30 minutes. Let's give it a try. Wow, it's soft, it's juicy, and it's full of broth flavor. It's so savory, but at the same time, to be honest, it's a little bit spicy because the hot pot is spicy. So for restaurants, I think the frozen tofu is a dream ingredient. Also for home cooks, because they're ready to use, they're consistent in quality, and they're great at soaking up flavor, and they're cost effective. Let me finish up this one. It's so good. It still has the aroma of tofu, but at the same time, it has brought me a lot of flavor from the hot pot. So it pairs beautifully with this spicy hot pot, but at the same time, it also pairs perfectly with some other hot pot soups, like tomato one, like mushroom one. Okay, 冻豆腐. That's right. That's right. Okay, so actually, in fact, many US hot pot chains already put the frozen tofu a standard on their menu, just like a lot of Chinese hot pot restaurants do. Okay, so that's the first ingredient that I'm talking with you today. And next, it also it comes the fried tofu puff. You can see looks like our frozen tofu, but it puffs up a little bit so that it's more plump than the frozen tofu. For hot pot, this is also a must-have item. I've heard a saying says that a hot pot without fried tofu puff is like a barbecue without cumin. It just feels incomplete. At first glance, they look simple, but they're the real flavor traps in the pot. So Jacknkings hot fried tofu puffs are made from non-NGO tofu, soybeans, non-NGO, GMO, sorry. GMO means genetically modified organism. Yeah, GMO. Sorry for that. Okay, and they're flash fried at high temperature. So you will see they look clean. For this plate, they've been put on the table for a long time, so they're thawed. You can see they stay light and soft, and you can literally feel the air inside. So if I use my chopsticks to squeeze, you can see they're so soft. You can feel the air inside. They're so bossy. Right? Okay. So now we already dropped a few tofu puffs in the pot. You can see that they gently float on the surface, and at the same time they slowly absorb soup, absorb the broth's aroma. So you can see the floating ones are the tofu puffs. Compared with those ones which were not put in the pot, you can see their colors are different, right? Now I'm gonna use my hand. I washed my hands before, so don't worry. You can see the color has changed. Before it was golden yellow. It looks just like the soybeans, but after we put it in the hot pot for a long time, the color has changed. That's because they already soaked up the soup. Okay, let me give this a try. This tastes similar to the frozen tofu, but at the same time, they're a little bit different because it's even softer than the frozen tofu. And it's also very juicy at the same time. Because they have been fried, so for me they're more savory. Each bite bursts with juice and blends tofu fragrance with broth richness. So it's just a perfect balance. It's a little bit spicy. Actually, right now in China it's getting cooler. Today it's like 16 degrees Celsius, but when I am here having a hot pot, now I feel warmer. I feel like it's not like 16 degrees Celsius, it's like 24 or 25. So personally, it just warms up the room for me. And when you are enjoying it with your family or friends, I'm sure it's also gonna warm up the atmosphere at your place. Okay, and then this is our third item, the kelp nuts. The kelp nuts are the green warriors of hot pot. They are firm, springy, and they're refreshingly oceanic. They're made from tender sea kelp. They're cleaned, sliced, and also they are tied into knots. That's one thing I like about it. You know, for one brand, they make their jewelry into the shape of nuts. They even have a name for that series. It's called Knot something. Nuts. I remember. It's so looks like a piece of art for that brand of jewelry. And today we also made our kelp into nuts. So we literally bring this piece of art to your table. That looks like a piece of art, right? They're in the shape of nuts, and you can see every single kelp looks beautiful. So they have a deep green color and a natural sea aroma. Once they are thawed, they into glossy and flexible. So this plate of kelp nuts have been put here for almost an hour so that they're thawed. You can see they still look very fresh, and I like the color. I just like the dark green color. Okay, if you drop them in the hot pot, they just swirl gracefully and they turn their color also get changed. So their color starts to get a little bit brown, you can see, compared with this one. The color is a little bit different. So that's also because it can also soak up the soup. So it's the color is getting brown a little bit. Okay, and now let me give it a try. Oh, one thing that I like about it is that when you put the kelp nuts into the pot, they don't break down. You can see this one is still in a knot shape, right? And this is also in a knot shape. They don't break down. 可能需要加点水，没有水了。 Okay, so now let me taste this with you. They just absorb the flavor beautifully while releasing a light sea salt freshness. The texture is chewy, crispy, and perfect for balancing the richness of other ingredients. For me, kelp nuts is really something that I like for a hot pot because they're healthy, you know, they're a low fat and high fiber food. So it's very healthy. I feel like it even makes the hot pot more healthier. They look great in buffet style setups or individual restaurants. They just add both color and nutrition. So again, it's a must-have essential on your hot pot, on your table. It's just a perfect balance of the soup, of the flavor of the soup, and its own sea salt richness, oceanic richness. So it's just a perfect balance. Okay, so Shizi says good to all the 3 items. Now, all the 3 ingredients are simmering together. The aroma is incredible. The rich soy fragrance, the light fry notes, and a hint of ocean breeze. It's just perfect. Okay, so as I tasted with you, now we have the 3 ingredients, the tofu and the tofu puffs. Oh, the frozen tofu, now I found it. And the tofu puffs, and also the kelp nuts. So each one, today I have 3 ingredients in my hot pot. Each one has its own character, and together they just create a perfect balance of texture and flavors. So they differ in color and they differ in flavors. This is what real hot pot happiness tastes like. Jacknkings Hot Pot series is made to international standards, from ingredient section to the quick freezing freshness. They help restaurants save time, ensure consistent quality, and they deliver authentic taste every single time. That's why I strongly recommend our hot pot ingredients to all of the hot pot restaurant owners, or like a self-serve mini hot pot place, or just home cooks. Anybody who likes hot pot I'm sure is gonna be a fan of Jacknkings hot pot ingredients. Okay, so we invite hot pot restaurants and food brands across the US to partner with us, with Jacknkings, so that more people can experience the authentic taste of China hot pot. Okay? Hello. Hi, do we have any new viewers? And if have you ever had hot pot before? If yes, what's your favorite flavor? For me, my favorite flavor is the spicy one. Okay. So tonight we're celebrating the first hot pot of autumn. When the weather starts to cool down, there's nothing better than gathering around the table with your family and friends, sharing laughter and enjoying a steaming pot of hot pot. So whether you run a hot pot restaurant in the US or manage a self-serve mini pot shop or simply love cooking, love hot pot, tonight's live is gonna definitely inspire you. So Jacknkings is bringing you 3 must-have hot pot essentials: the frozen tofu, and the fried tofu puffs, and the kelp nuts. So today I'm teaching you, I'm sharing with you how to make a hot pot. So the first step is super duper simple. You just prepare a pot and a pot of water. So when you have this, you just need a hot pot soup base. So this is my favorite. It's Chongqing style. It's classic Chongqing spicy hot pot soup base. And actually you don't need a lot. So if you have this size of soup base, actually you can have 4 or 5 hot pots. So for this size of pot, I just need like maybe one sixth of the base. So I just put the base into the hot pot with the water, and when it gets boiled, I can start putting the ingredients in the hot pot. So simple, that's it. Now first step water, second step soup, and third step put things in. So simple. So I'm sure any person can make a Chinese style hot pot at home. Okay, they're not just Chinese hot pot classics. Recently, they've also become favorites among the global market. No matter you're in the US, Europe, I'm sure you will like it. Okay, so today we're gonna cook and talk at the same time. Firstly, we're gonna talk about the frozen tofu. Many hot pot chefs call this tofu that can breathe. It's made from fresh tofu that's naturally frozen, so which creates countless holes inside. So those holes give it a unique power so that it can absorb soup when we put it in the hot pot. You can see. After thawing, it looks golden yellow, and you can squeeze some water. It's very soft and bouncy. Okay, let's put some of them in. 1, 2, and 3. When you just put them, they're floating. I feel like they're dancing. Okay, so this one was put into the hot pot a long time ago. Now you can see the structure allows it to soak up all the broth's flavors so that every bite tastes like drinking the soup itself. So for restaurants, the frozen tofu is a dream ingredient because they're ready to use, they're consistent in quality, and they're great at soaking up soup. So that is a must-have item for a restaurant, for hot pot restaurants. Okay, let me give it a try. Oh, it's a little bit spicy. It's a little bit hot. Now you can see. You can literally see the air holes, right? It's so soft, and so juicy, and it's full of the broth flavor. Nice. Okay, so that's our first ingredient for this hot pot. And the second one is the sorry, it's the fried tofu puffs. You can see a hot, they're here. Compared with the frozen tofu, they literally puff up, so that they are called frozen tofu, fried tofu puff. And they are so plump and cute. For a lot of people, it's a must-have in their hot pot. There is a saying that a hot pot without fried tofu puff is like barbecue without cumin. It just feels incomplete. So for some popular hot pot brands in China, like Haidilao, this is a very popular essential on their menu. At first glance, they look simple, but they are the real flavor that trap in the pot. So Jacknkings tofu puffs are made from non-GMO, which means genetically modified organism soybeans. They are flash fried at high temperature. You can see the outside is golden and flexible, and the inside is airy and hollow. If I squeeze it, you can feel, right? When I squeeze it, you can feel it's very soft and bouncy. After thawing, they stay light and soft. You can literally feel the air inside. So let's drop a few tofu puffs into the pot. 1, 2, and 3. Okay. After a few minutes, they will puff up like golden balloons. So you can see the color has changed. The original color is like a little bit golden yellow, but after we put them into the hot pot for a long time, the color is changing into light brown. Let me give it a try. It's hot. So when you're having hot pot, just be careful, because when the food is taken out from the hot pot, it's hot at the beginning. Each bite just bursts with juice and blends tofu fragrance with broth richness. It's just amazing. They just pair perfectly with almost anything in your hot pot, like beef slices, shrimp paste, and meatballs. So they actually pair almost anything in your hot pot. Oh, it's so juicy. Nice. They're so bouncy and chewy in your mouth. Okay, so very good ingredient for your hot pot. And finally, it comes my favorite, the kelp nuts. They're the green warriors of hot pot. They're warm, springy, and refreshingly oceanic. So at Jacknkings, we make them from tender sea kelp, cleaned, sliced, tied into knots, and flash frozen to lock in freshness. So that what I like is the knots of it, because compared with regular kelp, I feel they're just more artistic. And with the nuts, I feel like they even taste better than the regular nuts. I'm not sure if I'm the only one who feel it, or maybe you can also give it a try, see if the kelp with nuts tastes better. There's a luxury brand. They design their jewelry into the knot shape, and it's very popular. They have the earrings, the necklace, and even the rings. So I feel like our, although we're just food, but also it has that kind of artistic taste and style. So now we just put the art on your table. You can see they have a deep green color, and when you smell it, they have a sea aroma. Once thawed, they turned glossy and flexible, so that you can see every kelp nuts look very fresh. So if we drop them into the pot, they just add a different color to the pot. You can see before we have the golden yellow, and with it when they turn into brown, and now we have some green things which add to a different color of the hot pot, and the soup is red, so it's perfect. It's like a painting, right? They swirl gracefully, and then they turn a little bit brown in color while they're infusing the broth with a clean ocean-like scent. Okay, that one was put into the hot pot a long time ago. So you can see if you just put it, the color is like green, deep green, but if you put into the pot for a long time, the color starts changing. That's because it already absorbs the soup, so that later on when you taste it, you can taste the flavor of the soup. Oh, one more thing I want you to notice is that even though we already boil this for a long time, but the nuts don't break down. See, they're still in the knot shape. And the longer you cook them, the tastier they become. So this nut has been put into the pot for like an hour. Let me give it a try, see if it's the same. It just absorbs the flavor beautifully while it releases the light sea salt freshness. So it gives out an oceanic aroma, but at the same time, it has the flavor of the broth. The texture is chewy, and it's perfect for balancing the richness of other ingredients. So it's different. It's definitely different from the tofu, frozen tofu, and the fried tofu puffs. It's just a different vibe. Every time when I eat this nut part, I feel like I'm eating art. For a lot of people, the kelp nuts is a must-have item. It's because it's very healthy. So it's low fat, high fiber, and which makes it a very good option for a lot of people for when they choose the ingredients for hot pot. And apart from that, they're easy to store, portion, and serve. So which makes it a star for a lot of hot pot restaurants. They just look great in buffet style setups or individual hot pots. They add both color and nutrition to your hot pot. Okay, so now all the ingredients are simmering together. The aroma is just incredible. It has a rich soy fragrance, light fried nose, and a hint of ocean breeze. So we have all the 3 ingredients in our hot pot. So first is the frozen tofu. You can see it starts to absorb the broth in the hot pot, and then is our fried tofu puffs. They're so bouncy. You can see even when I'm using this instead of my mouth, I can still squeeze some water. Very juicy and bouncy and soft. Okay, and then it's the kelp nuts. It's different from the regular kelps because they're in a nut shape, which adds to an artistic feeling to this food. Okay, so the 3 ingredients have their own character, and together they just create a perfect balance of textures and flavors and even color. Every time when I look at a hot pot, I feel it's like painting because it has different colors. The red soup, the green kelp nuts, and the yellow and brown tofus. So it's like a painting with different colors. They help for our Jacknkings Hot Pot series. I strongly recommend our products to all the hot pot restaurant owners because they are made to international standards. From ingredient selection to quick freezing freshness. They just help restaurants save time, ensure consistent quality, and we deliver authentic taste every single time. That's why I strongly recommend our products, our Jacknkings hot pot ingredients to all of you, no matter you run a hot pot restaurant or if you manage maybe a self-serve hot pot mini shop, or if you are a home cook who likes cooking hot pot. I strongly recommend our products to you. And apart from that, we invite hot pot restaurants and food brands across the US to partner with us because in this way, more people can experience the authentic taste of Chinese hot pot. I'm Shiqi. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. Don't forget to like, follow, and share this live stream. Thank you. See you next time. Bye-bye.